Okay, this episode of Just Outdoors is going to cover everything about bait, everything you want to know about bait, the bait that you buy at the local bait store. Anywhere you are in the state, county of Itasca, there's bait dealers. And you fishermen, we're going to go through the minnows, different types of minnows, where they come from. We're going to talk to a bait wholesaler, the person that brings the minnows to the retailer. Should be a good show, learn a lot. Just Outdoors is brought to you in part by
Jervelin Hardware Inc., Deer River. Jervelin Hardware offers a broad selection of paints and sporting goods and a complete line of plumbing and electrical supplies. Jervelin Hardware, 108 Main Avenue, Deer River.
Meds One Emergency Medical Services. Meds One provides mobile advanced life support, community paramedic primary care services, and education, event medical support, and consulting. Preserving lives and improving health. In an emergency, always call 911.
This program is sponsored in part by Brewed Awakenings Coffee House. Brewed Awakenings is a green business with the mission to be a cafe where a person can eat every day and be healthy. Nurture your inner being at Brewed Awakenings, downtown Grand Rapids on Highway 2 East, across from the courthouse.
Hi, my name is Tom Chapin, and welcome to Just Outdoors. This is a program to bring you the bare facts about the woods, the waters, and the wildlife of Itasca County. Today we have a special show on location at Ben's Bait right here in Grand Rapids. All you fishermen out there that need minnows, you get minnows during the whole year, winter, summer, all your fishing, wherever you get them. Sometimes you wonder where they come from. How many come in at one time? We're going to learn all about minnows. So the show is going to be all about minnows. And we got a guest with us. It's actually a wholesale minnow dealer from actually the Black Duck Squaw Lake area. Spence Haugen. Welcome to the show, Spence.
Thank you.
And you brought your truck. You've already delivered some minnows here to Ben's Bait. And we're going to learn a little about where you get them and all the questions that I can come up with that I figured the public might want to know.
Okay.
But tell us a little about Spence and your background a little bit.
Well, I live in Squaw Lake, Minnesota. That's where we have the wholesale business. Originally from southern Minnesota, the St. James area.
Sure.
Lived up here now for going on 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the business now this will be our second year going in of owning the business. Purchased it from, it'd be Jim Stone, he formerly Stone Bait Company. He was out of Northville, Minnesota.
Yeah, everybody kind of remembers the trucks coming through here for years and years, Stone Bait.
Yep.
So you actually own that company right now?
Yep,
okay.
Yep. And Jim had it it had been his 40th year when I bought it. So originally I was working in Bemidji at Menards when I came up here as a yard manager there. And just kind of stumbled on him at the bait shop one day when I was getting bait in Squaw Lake, and he kind of started talking. He told me, I'm going to retire and going to sell the business. He's like, you look like a good candidate. And kind of went home and thought about it for a little bit. I was like, it seems like kind of a good idea. Yeah. So I ended up working for him for 2 years before we bought the business, just to learn the ropes.
Sure, learn the ropes, yeah. Wow, well, I'll tell you, we've talked a little bit before this show about the miles you put on and where you get these minnows and how many people you deal with on a daily basis and how many days per week during the season. This is a hot time of the year right now.
This is our
Memorial
busiest
Day
time.
coming up.
This will be our busiest week of the season.
Okay. So now we got you here in a late morning of a day, and you still got many hours left to put in before it's done.
Yep, this time of year, it's if it's not a 15-hour day, then I'm going to be behind. So
okay.
We put in some hours.
Let's talk about, first of all, the, well, you deliver minnows every day
Yep.
somewhere, and you have a special truck.
Yep. Currently we have 2 bait trucks that we have. Basically it's just be like a flatbed truck that we have the bait tank on the back with all the different, we run agitators on the top for aeration. It's a 110 volt agitator that basically it's just churning the water up and adding air bubbles.
Air bubbles, yeah, I get oxygen to that
And then
water.
also we have the oxygen diffusers too off of just straight oxygen that'll bubble it in
Sure.
too. So
Okay, so this truck has all this, now there's a lot of weight on that truck.
yeah.
So how many gallons of water are you transporting in that truck?
It's about, the tank that I have today is a 950 gallon.
950 gallons, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's 5,000 to
That's a lot of-
6,000 pounds, right?
That's a lot of water sloshing around.
Okay, within that water, how many gallons of maximum can you transport? How many gallons of minnows? Because you sell minnows by the gallon, right?
Yep, everything's by the gallon from
Okay,
the
so
suckers all the way to the
Everything,
down
so
to your
you
crappie
charge
minnows.
the retailer
Yep,
a certain amount per gallon.
yep.
Okay. So how many gallons can you get on that
It
truck?
varies on what kind of minnows you're gonna haul. If say I was gonna haul fat heads, I could probably, on the truck I had today, I can do about 160 gallons. If you're doing shiners, it's gonna be way less than that because you can't. Shiners are a lot more sensitive. You can't crowd them near as much. so.
Okay, they don't live long in the minnow buckets either. do
No,
they?
no.
All right. Okay, you've got, let's talk about your route for a while, then we'll get into the types of minnows that you deliver, because that's kind of important. I don't know a lot about it either, and I'd like the folks to know, like, where do you get these minnows and so on. So let's talk about the route that you've taken, that you normally take down to Grand Rapids. Where do you get your minnows?
Well, today we kind of got a little bit of everything, and the minnows come from, it's basically all over the state. A lot of the fatheads,
Yeah, the fathead.
the
Where do they
majority of them are going to come from south of here. Around here, it's not the ideal waters for trapping a lot of volume of fatheads. I mean, they do get them, but
These are your crappie minnows, basically.
yeah, fatheads
right?
and crappie minnows. The majority of them come from southern Minnesota or central Minnesota, and basically like the sloughs, the more fertile ponds down there is where we get a majority of the.
Where do you
the
pick them
fatheads.
up?
I do a lot down around the Detroit Lakes area is a pretty good area. There's a lot of minnow trappers down there that deal with them. Minnow pond, basically. I mean, it's basically minnow farming, what they do with them. Furthest south I go would be Janesville, Minnesota.
Well, how often do you go down there to pick up these fatheads?
It's once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week, and then you bring them to your place of business.
Yep.
Store them, and then distribute them to the retailers.
Yep. We'll bring them back to the shop, and then basically, a lot of the times when you get them, it's just a tank of minnows. I mean, you'll have your crappie minnows, fatheads, everything's mixed together. So then we grate them, and they call them graters. It's just basically a wire divider in there where the minnows swim through to the certain size that you need. So we'll bring them back and then grade them out to the different sizes. For
So you grade them
yeah.
at your place?
Yep.
Okay. So you go down there once or twice a week, you say?
Yep, during the summertime, it's
okay.
like right now, it'll be twice a week. And then sometime, if it's really busy, you know, if we're running 2 trucks, we'll have one truck going down and filling up. And
so you got a wholesaler dealing with a wholesaler.
yeah, basically.
What you're doing, yeah.
So basically what we're doing is going around to the different trappers, and then, you know,
Like that.
Certain times, you know, you'll go into some trappers and they're just, some of the minnows aren't as desirable. They're pretty beat up or whatever. So
Okay, I got so many questions, I don't know what order to put them here. How many stops do you make in an average day to pick up minnows from those that are supplying you minnows? In the local area, Itasca County and around that area?
Around here, well, for instance, today I'll be doing 4 stops, doing some actual picking up.
Picking up minnows, 4 stops?
As I'm delivering.
And where would those areas be?
The Marcel area, there's a few there, just right outside of Grand Rapids here. And then back towards where I'm from by Squaw Lake.
Are these small dealers that just trap on their own, and they contacted you and said, I'm trapping some minnows, would you like to buy them? I mean, is that basically what it is?
Basically, just smaller trappers around here that are getting a few between the leeches and the minnows.
But you don't trap yourself, do you?
No, I do a little bit of leech trapping early, but once walleye season, that week before opener, then it starts getting very busy. So it's
but there are wholesale dealers in the state that do trap their own minnows also,
There is
aren't
some,
there?
yep. Yep, and
But not
those
that many.
those are basically the minnow farmers where you go down and they're managing the ponds.
The ponds and stuff, they probably
Yep.
own the ponds, or
Yep,
they're
it's
close
all
to
private.
public ponds or
Yep.
whatever. Okay, all right,
And, like today where I'll be going, a lot of these trappers, it's all public water that they're doing, and it's,
okay.
you know, wild, I guess you could call them wild minnows versus where we go down to southern Minnesota where
Yeah.
they're planting them in their ponds and,
No, fatheads would be more of a non-wild minnow, right?
yeah, yep,
Okay, because they're kind of raising them like that.
yep.
Okay, how many stops do you make dropping off minnows to retailers?
Today I'll have 16 stops that I do.
16 stops
Yeah.
in one day.
Yep.
That's a lot of stops.
It's a lot of stop and go.
So you don't have to go to the Y to keep in shape or
No,
anything?
no,
okay.
this time of year, it's,
All right.
I'm pretty wore out by the end of the day.
I would say so. So you were talking to me like sometimes you put in 15, 16, 17-hour days. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And that's kind of like continual.
Yep. It'll be steady like this, you know, as long as the fishing and the weather is good. Like I
Yeah.
always tell everybody, our business is 100% dictated on nature, on
Sure.
the weather, and
Sure.
so far it's been, we haven't had terrible weather, but it's enough to keep us busy. It's,
Okay. Give us an idea about your bait company here out of by Dunbar Lake, right?
yep.
Real
yep.
close. Dunbar Lake.
Dunbar Lake, Squaw Lake, Minnesota.
Okay, Squaw Lake, Minnesota, and that's kind of where you're back in the woods there.
Yep.
A little bit. How big of an area do you cover delivering minnows? I mean, give us a kind of a map there.
The
You're in
area,
Grand Rapids. Do you go farther south than this?
this is about as far south I go. As
Oh,
Bemidji,
okay.
I guess, would be the next
Okay,
one.
you
but-
go. How far west do you go? Bemidji?
Bemidji there.
Yeah.
Basically, our area is if you did a triangle from International Falls to Bemidji, over here to Grand Rapids, the Marcel, Talmoon area, and then up to Orr.
Okay.
It's kind of that loop there, and then we zigzag everywhere in between.
But you do go to the falls, huh?
Yeah.
All the way up
Yep.
there. Wow. So how many miles do you put on a year on this truck?
Oh, I don't know how many a year I put on. I know since the week before opener, well, after today, I'll have over 8,000 miles on it.
8,000 miles in 2
Since-
weeks.
Yep.
Well, you can kind of
that-
extrapolate that out during the year. I mean,
Yeah,
you got lower mileage on some of the
Yeah,
times,
and
especially
that-
in the winter, but
Basically, that truck, if I'm not running that truck, one of our guys that works for me, he's off picking up, delivering it. The truck
like
never
that.
stops.
Okay.
It's
Now, we talked about fatheads. What about other species of minnows here?
basically, well, this time of year we do them all, anywhere from spot tail shiners, gold shiners, all the way down to your crappie minnows, the suckers.
Okay, spot tail shiners, what's the difference?
The spot tail shiners are more, you get them more this time of year. Usually after Memorial Weekend will be the end of it. You'll only find the spot tails in the bigger lakes like Mille Lacs, Red Lake, those sort of. There's a few smaller lakes around here that, you know, Ball Club and that sort of lake
Okay.
that get them.
So spot tail shiners are only available now?
Yep. It's just a short
If I
window
wanna
you
go-
get them.
Okay, if I want to go fishing with a spot tail shiner in August or in the winter,
Yeah, you will, unless you freeze them
okay.
this
okay.
time of year, you won't be able to find
Okay,
them.
tell me about, are they better for fishing?
Yeah, the fishermen definitely seem to prefer them.
They like the spot tail. We got a guy here that's going like this with
Yeah,
his head. Yeah, my customer.
they're the hot ticket this time of year.
Hot
It's-
ticket, okay. So you're looking at maybe 3 weeks of spot tail shiners.
Yeah, on an average
That's
year,
about it.
it'll go 3 to 4 weeks, and that's again depends on the weather too. This
Okay.
year has been quite a bit shorter. We've had such goofy weather with the
Yeah.
hot weather, then the cold weather,
Sure.
and then back to hot again. It really.
Okay. Then you get fathead spot tail shiners. What about
Yeah.
shiners themselves? Is that all year?
The golden shiners we do all year.
Golden shiners you do all year.
Yeah.
Are they generally bigger or?
That's what the grading thing we do too.
Okay.
You can grade them out to basically any size you want, anywhere from a real small, almost a crappie size shiner,
Yeah.
which some, like my shops in International Falls, that's what they prefer. And down here, they prefer the bigger ones. It's a preference type deal where what size they like.
Okay, we'll be looking at these minnows later. Ben will show them to us what we're talking. That's why I want to get this out here. So you got golden shiners, then the regular shiner.
Yep, and then there's a common shiner too,
Common
a river
shiner.
shiner, some
River
people
shiner.
call them.
Okay.
Yep.
Are these available in the whole area in
Yeah,
different spots?
yep.
I mean, most lakes have them.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. The river shiner, is more of a creek shiner,
Yeah.
which they're pretty widespread. They're
Okay.
pretty available.
Okay,
And
all year.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I got a car. What do you do in the winter? I mean, how do you preserve? You trap in the winter?
I don't trap.
But
We,
people
yeah, the
trap?
people do trap. It's it definitely makes it harder in the winter, but they still
They
do
still trap in the
yeah.
winter? Okay.
Yeah, they get a pretty good quantity of minnows, and a lot of that depends on the weather too, with the oxygen
Yeah.
in the lakes and that sort of thing.
They trap them in shallow water in the winter too?
Yeah, yep. They'll just basically it's just they cut a big hole nice, and
In how many feet?
it depends on the minnow you're getting, but you know, like the fatheads and the golden shiners, it's typically not more than 6 feet deep
6
that
feet
they're
deep. In
trapped.
the winter, in a lot of our lakes around here, you
Yep.
can trap those.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Just the shallow, fertile lakes. That,
Yeah, okay. Fertile meaning darker water?
yeah, the shallow. Basically, if you looked at it and wanted to go duck hunting in it, there's probably
That's-
fatheads or
Okay.
shiners in there.
Darker, real.
Yep, real weedy, mucky
nutrient.
bottoms is what
Yeah,
they
okay,
prefer.
that's where they prefer. Okay, now we got those out of the way. Suckers,
Yep,
because that's my favorite minnow for
pretty-
northern pike.
pretty much. All the suckers that we get are
where are they?
they're I guess you can call it farm raised.
Oh, really?
They go down to they'll milk them, you know, just like they would at the walleyes on cutfoot and that sort of thing. Is they'll milk them, get the eggs, and they hatch them in the hatcheries, and then they just put them in these stock ponds, and then they'll grow them up to, you know, different stages where you have your light pike, your heavy northern,
Yeah.
the bigger size suckers, all the way down to your heavy pike. And
Okay, what I'm hearing from you is the sucker minnow is also farm raised.
yep,
That you
I'd
get
say
here.
90% of the suckers.
So you
that
go down
get
south
are,
to get those too, or
yeah,
Detroit
most-
Lakes? Or
Detroit
that area?
Lakes area is where I get a majority of mine.
Really?
And
So the suckers that you get here at Ben's Bait, or whatever bait station, most of them don't come from the local area. Is
yep,
that right?
Yep, they're.
Could you
around-
trap them here?
They do trap some of them, but very few. I'd say 90%
Really?
of the suckers you get are going to be, you know, I call them farm raised.
Okay.
Out of the
I
ponds.
imagine they'd be harder to trap than shiners. They wouldn't accumulate as heavy in
Actually,
some of our lakes.
the
or
suckers are actually probably easier to trap because they have them in more of a
Oh.
confined area down there
what? Down there.
in the ponds that
Yeah,
they get.
but I mean around here if you wanted to
Oh
trap
yeah, yeah.
It'd be almost impossible to
Yeah.
really go out like you could shiners
Yeah,
trap.
yeah. That's another reason is you don't see very many wild trap suckers. It's tough. It's
Okay. Learned something there. I thought the suckers came from around the area here, but they don't. They come from farms
Yep.
south of us here.
Yep.
And so when you make trips south, you're also picking up suckers.
Yep. Usually when I go down to pick up, I mean, sometimes I'll go down, you know, and just fill the truck up with nothing but, you know, fatheads if I need a lot of fatheads.
Okay.
But most of the time I'm picking up a
Sure.
variety of
Okay.
minnows.
And you're counting on your storage area where you are to hold these minnows, so they're going to be able to be sold in good condition.
Yep.
Because you want the minnows in good condition, otherwise your retailer is going to say,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to somebody else, right?
And it's kind of it's kind of a juggling act when you do it.
bet
You
it
try
is.
to balance it where, like, my goal is when I bring minnows in, I don't want them in my shop in the tanks for more than a week. I want them fresh, and so we
Do
try
you
to
feed them?
Some of the minnows we do.
Oh.
The common shiners we will. Fatheads and that you don't have to. They can live for, you know, a pretty good period of time without it. But
Suckers?
suckers you don't have to
Don't
feed
have to
either.
either.
It's,
Okay.
I've kind of experimented around with them, you know, just seeing how long I can
Yeah.
keep them in the tanks. And last year, I had some from August towards the end when it slows down all the way until the spring, right up till opener, and then I finally
Oh.
got rid of them. You know, they're just stay in
to
the tank
test them,
just
huh?
fine. Yeah,
See
just
how
to
they
see
go.
how long they'd last.
Okay. The other one that I'm interested in are the larger suckers for spearing and for big musky and northern fishing.
Yep.
The large ones you get in the wintertime that are available here. Where do those come from? Those farm raised too?
Yep, those are farm raised too.
Okay.
And
And they're just small suckers that grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Explain, minnows aren't small fish.
No, no.
Okay. Other than suckers. I mean, suckers can grow to a degree.
Yeah.
To a fairly large fish. But minnows are minnows, right? I
Yep.
mean, they aren't small. They aren't going to grow any bigger than what they are.
Yeah,
now.
like fatheads, it's
Yeah.
they kind of max out to a certain size there
Okay.
that you'll see. And it's that's another kind of balancing act. It kind of learn that when the fatheads, when you get the really nice big fatheads, they're a lot harder to keep. It seems that so.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
nice having the big ones, but at the same time, it's you try to keep them as fresh as you can and
Sure.
move them. And
They don't grow fast enough to notice them while you have them, do they?
no, it's usually we're moving them in and out so
Yeah,
much.
I
that-
mean, it would take a month or two to
Yeah.
notice something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other minnows we want to talk about? Any other species that you deal with?
We deal rainbows is another one too. That's a
Rainbows?
big.
Oh, those
that's
are
a hot-
chubs.
Yep, it's basically
What are those? What's the story on rainbow chubs?
rainbows are. They're kind of their own species. A lot of people think they're a cross of a fathead, but they call them dace is a technical
Dace,
name for
yes.
it.
Uh-huh.
But there's three different. There's red-bellied dace, there's pearl dace, and then your common dace. Most people want the red belly or the rainbows, which we deal a lot with. And
Okay.
they're a northern minnow. Those are basically locally trapped around here.
Okay.
If you get further south in Park Rapids area, then you're not seeing as many. We're kind of actually in the heart of
Part
rainbow
of
country.
chubs.
Yeah.
So are they in demand by fishermen? Is that a big demand?
Especially this time of year, especially if the shiners get low and sometimes it gets hard to.
But for walleye bait, chubs?
Yeah,
Good?
yeah.
Okay.
They're one of the favorites.
So if you had to separate the species of minnows as to the number or percentage that you sell, what would be the biggest quantity of species that you would sell?
Biggest quantity fatheads by far. It's
Fatheads by
most
far.
common and
Because of the pan fishing, right?
Yep, and then the fact that they're just cheaper too. I mean, they come in and shiners are going to be a little spendier, and some
You
people.
can use those on walleyes. I mean,
Yep.
fatheads. and
Yeah,
so on.
fatheads, they work just fine for walleyes. I mean,
Okay.
some people they'll go fishing, not even buy a shiner, and they can do just as good with
Okay.
guy fishing next to them. So
All right. Well, we'll show these minnows a little later in the show. You also deal in night crawlers.
yeah, yep.
Okay, what's the story
That's,
there? Do you pick those up from local?
Those are, along with pretty much most of the night crawlers that you'd buy at any retailer, a majority of them are going to be Canadian night crawlers.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yep.
They come in from Canada,
Yep.
right?
So the company that I get them from, they're out of Toronto, and it's kind of interesting how they work. You wouldn't think there'd be that much thought or anything into night crawlers, but they have basically night crawler farms where it's big, I can call it sod fields. And they just, at night, sprinklers come on and they hit the lights and they go out with tractors and wagons and
Pick them up.
just thousands of them. I mean,
Thousands of them. They go all over the place. So there's
Yeah.
probably not that many dealers in Canada. They're probably a big outfit. something
yeah,
like that.
it's
Well, yeah.
kind of amazing how much they do. Like the
Yeah.
company that I get them from, they come through every 2 weeks, and it'll be a full semi, and they'll come out of Toronto and they go out Arizona. I mean,
Wow.
way out
No
west.
kidding.
They
So
just-
they're
every week.
kind of an exotic species to the area, aren't they? I mean, they aren't.
Yeah.
I don't think they're naturally here years ago. I think they were kind of imported
Yeah.
here. So,
And then that's kind of the thing too with the different laws of Canada.
yeah.
When you bring worms across, you can't have the American dirt. You have to have it in worm bedding to.
Okay, now we're getting into something else. We'll cover that too right now, and that's at AIS.
Yeah.
Invasive species. When you're involved with public waters, which you are every day,
Yep.
or getting an element out of that public waters, there's a lot of new regulations that you have to abide by.
Yeah, there is.
And
It's-
so kind of tell the audience a little about this AIS and how you get involved in that, because I know the fishermen are involved. They
Yeah.
got to drain the boat, they got to clean the boat, they got to, the whole thing. Everybody's pretty much up on that now. As a minnow dealer, what do you got to look for?
Well, on my end of it, like myself or anybody that's working for me or transporting minnows, we have to be certified in AIS. It's basically an online class that you take.
Okay,
And you have to-
education, number
Yep,
one.
you have to
All
have, they print out a certificate and you have to have that on you. It's by law that you've
Okay,
done that. So that's, on our end, that's one part of it. For the trapping end of it, that's a whole, you could go on and on with the stuff they have to do there. The main one is with a lot of the bodies of water that they're trapping now that are infested, such as Mille Lacs or some of these bigger ones, they have to have a whole separate set of gear that they're using for the piece of water that they're in. They have to have everything
hip
tagged.
boots,
Yep,
waders.
hip boots, so the traps, everything.
Traps and everything.
And the DNR will send tags and it's a tag that you clip onto whatever piece of equipment. You can't take it off. It's a lock type thing, but you have to have those on your waders,
Really?
your traps, and you can only use it for that particular body of water.
That's infested waters. So
Yep.
when you go to an access, they'll have a sign there. This is infested waters.
Yep.
And the rules are a lot different, a lot more stringent on those waters when you're gathering minnows.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and same with like the water too. Like a lot of the trappers, if you're not in infested water, they'll be using lake water on transporting them.
How does that work? Since I can't do it with my minnow bucket,
Yep. If
can they transport lake water?
they basically now the DNR wants you to, they don't want you using any lake water.
Right.
I mean, and especially true for infested water. I mean, that's
Right,
that's
I
a big
understand
no.
that,
That's
yeah.
a big no-no.
Right,
But
yeah.
basically now it's you fill the truck up at your shop or wherever with
Okay.
you know well water is what they want you to
Well
use.
water, and then you don't take any water out of the lake. You
No,
don't-
no, and it,
Yeah.
I think that's just common sense too.
Oh,
that
sure,
it-
and that's probably the way it's been going for a while anyway. Most
Yeah.
of the time you bring your own
Yeah.
water. But, okay, so you've got anything else that you, kind of bait that you sell other than night crawlers?
Well,
and-
we do everything from leeches and
Leeches,
your
yeah.
wax worms. During the winter, we do a lot of the Euro larva and
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay, leeches are a big thing.
Yeah. So basically, anything live bait we carry. So.
Okay, but leeches are trapped all summer, right?
Yep. Just during the summertime. That's basically a lot of the leeches are local here too.
Okay, so you stop and you buy leeches from local people
Yeah.
at traps?
Yeah.
And so if somebody had kind of a little larger trapping situation where they're trapping could they call you? Would you pick up leeches from them?
Yep.
If
That's basically how we do it. Is
Okay,
there's
you find local people that,
Yep. And the leeches too is we put some miles on collecting them. Like the Minnow area or the White Earth Reservation is a big leech spot over
Oh,
there, so we travel over there quite a bit.
out west there. Huh?
Yep, and down by Leech Lake, and
Uh-huh.
it's just kind of a who's got them and who
Yeah.
the quality of them. You're always checking. To
Is
see.
that a big percentage of your bait that you sell?
Yeah, during the summer now, after Memorial Weekend, you can kind of see the switch from minnows to more night crawlers and leeches as
Leeches,
the bite changes
The leeches, how do you sell those? By the
by the pound.
by the pound?
Yep.
Okay, you know how much this capacity weighs,
Yep.
this volume weighs, and you kind of go by
pretty-
that. You
basically-
don't weigh every pound,
Yeah,
or do you?
I'll pick them up from. That's how we buy them too. We'll buy them by the pound. I'll bring them back to my shop, and we sort everything by size.
Size, okay.
The large, medium, small. We'll
Yeah.
divide out, and then we just sell that by the pound. To the retail shops or whoever I'm delivering to, they order that by the pound. And
Okay. Real good. Boy, I don't know. I can't think of anything else right now. I think we were going to go back and just take a look at where these minnows go before they come out in these bins out here. And then we'll take a look at the minnows themselves. We'll get maybe Ben over here and Kellin and have him go through these a little bit. But you've got a long ways to go today yet.
yeah, it's gonna be a long day.
It's going to be a long day.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for taking an hour
No
out
problem.
here
Thank you.
and telling us a little about your Dunbar Bait Company here.
Yeah.
And it's just you're just another guy that is making a living off the resources
Yep.
in Minnesota, Itasca County, and you've got some employees.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. We currently have 2 employees that
Yeah.
work for us, and
I mean, just terrific. So you're one of the. Now there's other bait dealers around.
yeah, there
and
is.
so
there,
you are aware of them. And
Yep, there's in this area there's about 3 or 4 major ones like myself or the bigger wholesalers that
there are.
yeah,
Okay.
and they cover about the same areas I do too, and it's kind of it's not really a competition problem. I mean, we're always working together if one of us is short on something.
That's what I was thinking. I would
Yeah.
think you'd almost have to, because if one of your retailers wants some minnows, you don't have any, I'm sure they're going to help you out on
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
So
'cause you're
it's
going to help them
actually-
out eventually.
It's
so-
actually nice having them around. You can
Well, I would think so, yeah.
So-
And there's information to be gathered on
Yeah.
that too. There's ponds out there, isn't there? that
yeah,
they
and it's
trap?
nice to know what else is.
Yeah.
If you're having problems getting a certain kind of minnow, you can call them and
Sure.
see what's going on if they're having the same problem or. So
Yeah.
everyone's pretty open.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Spence, and good luck today, and good luck in the future on your business here. You're only a couple of years into it, but you look 10, 12 years down the line, you're going to be maybe expanding.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Well,
Never
that's
know.
kind of
More
what we're
employees.
hoping for.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here at Ben's Bait, and we already talked to the minnow wholesaler, dealer that supplies Ben's Bait with minnows, and we have Ben Kellin with us to explain a little more about the minnows. We're going to show the minnows that we talked about here. So Ben, take it away.
Well, the first one, the hottest thing this time of year is always the spot tail. Phone rings 20 times a morning, seeing if we have spot tails in.
I see some of your sign out here sometimes.
We always have to say that,
okay,
yes.
you say that, yeah.
And this is the hottest minnow going. It's seasonal, and these are on the biggest lakes are in spawning now, and the walleyes are in feeding on them. But the season's short, and they last. We hope to get through Memorial Day every year.
Really? And this is it?
And this is it.
Boy, that's a short season.
We've had years until July, but those are the cold years, so that's what it is. And this year's pretty normal. It is, yeah.
So if you find these spot tails on the lake, you better start fishing there.
That's where the fish are.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so are the pelicans and the loons and everything else.
And these are cheaper, right?
These are cheaper than a golden shiner.
Really?
Yes.
I was just kidding.
No, they really are because, like I say, they're seasonal and with the volume of them so high compared to golden shiners.
I see. So when they come in, they really come in abundance.
Exactly. And then you get the trappers competing over them, so the price goes down a little.
Okay.
Golden shiners are getting harder and harder and harder to get. Now, this is not a seasonal minnow. We tend to have these all year, fall, winter.
These are golden shiners. They're a little bit fatter, or am I?
Yeah, they're thicker. They're higher backed.
Higher backed, yeah.
And hardier.
And well, really,
they really are. They can take more abuse than a silver.
These are harder than the silver.
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Right.
And size varies too. We can get these into bigger sizes for northern bait too.
Yes, I've seen those.
Yep.
A wonderful bait for northern.
Right, and that's a locally trapped. That's trapped right around here.
Oh, okay.
And then
so are those.
These are too, the big legs, like I said.
The big legs, okay.
And the old standby is the fathead
old
chub.
standby.
And we're just getting into the time of year where these start spawning now too. So you find the males will have the black heads on them. Guys are, the guys will ask, are they blue or black this time of year?
Oh, okay.
Because that, like that big male there, that's what happens this time of year.
These are the chubs.
Yep, fathead chubs.
Fathead chubs. So chub and fathead are the same thing.
Right.
I mean, when people
they call rainbow chubs, but they're really a dace. They're a different breed of minnow. Yeah.
Do you have rainbow?
I don't. They're going through their spawn cycle right now.
Okay.
So they're really hard to get.
Okay. Is that in demand?
Yeah, we can sell them year round. If I had them, the tank would be emptied immediately.
Okay.
Yep.
Now tell me how many of these minnows are available in the winter?
Everything but the spot tails.
Everything but the spot tails.
Yep, and rainbows are actually more readily available in the winter than now because they trap in the winter better than they do now.
Okay, real good. Then I'm going to go grab another species here that is very familiar, and that's your sucker minnow.
Sucker minnow, and we sell 3 sizes, this being the smallest that we carry. There actually is one smaller size called a light pike, that's more of a walleye size.
Yes.
And these are the heavy pike going to the smaller northern minnows. And then you have a light northern and a heavy northern are the 2 biggest size, up to decoys is the biggest.
Okay, so the decoy minnows, seems like you always have those here.
Yeah, so they're farm raised, so they're readily available.
That's right. Here's the bigger
And
sucker.
this is more what you like to use.
Yeah, now what do they call these again? These are light northern.
Light northern, right.
Light northern are bigger than
heavy pike.
Heavy pike.
Right.
Okay.
Back in the days,
when they talk about pike, they're talking walleye.
Walleyes,
okay,
right.
So heavy pike is smaller.
Right.
So you got to think almost opposite. Of that.
Exactly.
The heavy pike is smaller.
Right. We should have light walleye and heavy walleye so people wouldn't be so confused.
All right. Very good. Well, I think we covered it. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it.
You got a big season coming. This is one of your biggest weekends.
Memorial is probably
Day.
my biggest weekend.
And Labor Day?
Labor Day is all right, but this kicks off the real tourist season up here.
You bet.
That licensed machine will be smoking by the end of Saturday.
Okay, and the first ice in too.
Right on, yeah.
Okay,
December's awesome,
December,
right.
And a lot of fatheads go out there for panfish during the year here.
Right, the crappie minnow is probably our #1 selling minnow overall. By gallons is a crappie minnow.
And every minnow dealer in the county is probably going through the same thing you are.
We all are, yes, and we're battling for those, the silvers.
Yeah. Oh, the silver. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom, my
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Okay, folks, thank you for watching Just Outdoors. And remember, stay informed.